All right. Now it is 9:10 in East Coast, US, and 6:40 in India. We shall start our second session today, 72B. Today's date is 25th of September 2021. And our topic of discussion is Sannyas versus Garhasthiya ka Adhyatma, or householder spirituality. So this understanding is important for understanding, because many people, they confuse spirituality with sannyas. They think that if somebody got interested into spirituality, they run away from the family and leave the family, go to Himalayas or someplace, and then that family will suffer. That's the first thing the family members, they think about if somebody shown any interest in spirituality. So from where this is coming from our social or cultural conditioning, has been put in place last maybe 200, 300 years by all the spiritual teachers, and they came from the sannyas background. That's why people, they equate sannyas with spirituality. And main characteristic of their teaching, their sannyas dharma, is to denounce whatever you enjoy in life. Or you should also, it's a matter of money. You should not get involved into any kind of personal relationships. You should not get involved in any kind of profit-making business or earn money or accumulate wealth. And all these are Maya. Okay. To some extent that is correct. But the teaching, what happened is, these methods are for sannyasis, not for the grihasthis. And that created a conflict of the grihasthis, and over the period of time, the grihasthis, they feel they are inferior. They are not worthy of enlightenment, of the spiritual progress, spiritual attainment. It is only for those who are chosen to be in sannyasis, or those who have been struggling with a lot of sadhana and meditation day and night. They are the worthy of enlightenment, not the common people like us. Okay, so this misunderstanding has created a lot of issues. Many are avoiding spirituality altogether because of this idea that spirituality means they have to leave the family and go to the forest, or not earn anything, and the living is only the bhiksha, that dan or donation from others. That is the lifestyle, the sannyasis, and that is correct. That is their one of the principle, that you cannot get involved into profit-making business and things like that. So this kind of conflict has put down a lot of people. Just simply they think that themselves are unworthy of walking the spiritual path. This particular aspect, now Babaji has given mission to many householders to become a master and teach householders, because like attracts like. A sannyasi cannot come and teach you how to raise children. They can give a dialogue, but that should not come from their experiential understanding. So they cannot understand what you are going through. In this process, so this in the recent time, I'm saying, Lahari Mahasaya is the first Kriya Yogi who was a householder, and he has been given Babaji to, spread the Kriya Yoga for the masses, for the householders, for the family people, so that they can walk the path and get liberated and completely the crash the myth, wrong understanding that householder cannot be enlightened. And in this mission, Babaji has given to thousands of masters. Now they are working to raise this awareness and spread the householder spirituality. So I'm blessed to be one of them who has been given by Babaji in the room. This is my bedroom, cum puja room. So here he appeared in 1st December when I was sleeping. So in 4 o'clock, that time, this is a post-enlightenment period, and I was going through silence period. There is something called silence period. If you read my life story, you will understand it. All the masters, they go through this process, by the way. Any enlightened persons. Masters are those who come back and teach people. And there are many who are enlightened, but not come back, and it is not in their, path to teach others and share the knowledge others. That is also fine, They are called mystics. So, but all of them post-enlightenment go through a phase called silence period to absorb the higher truth into their system. All past births and all open up, like their soul's journey opened up, and to absorb the higher truth, it takes time. In our normal terms, bolte balti band ho jate hain to dekh ke, something like that. In that state, they are it takes years. For me, 2010 to end 2013, about 3+ years it took. Then Babaji appeared, and I have given this particular incident into that, and he said, your silence period is over. Go and teach people, share your story, teach people householder spirituality. That is my life mission. For the grihasthis, it is not for sannyasis. This path are different. I will explain that. But I'm just telling from why I have chosen this topic. We are all grihasthis here. There is no sannyasi in this our group. So this particular thing, so this understanding need to be given. We need to remind us time to time. Otherwise, we can see the people are shifting towards the sannyasi kind of mentality or concept or idea. They heard something or got some video and posted by some sannyasi that money is bad and things like that, or enjoying life is bad. Even, use, householders' normal duties, or even getting married and enjoy your conjugal life is bad. This kind of ideas, that ruined some people's life. But they feel guilty that I should not be doing this, and I'm not worthy of spirituality or walking on the spiritual path. Let me tell you this. This is complete nonsense. Okay. This is complete nonsense. That is a different path. And ours is different path. So somebody say people in Mexico, they eat Mexican food daily. We Indian eat Indian food daily. That does not mean that if we don't take Mexican, we cannot do certain things. It's nonsense. Okay, it's only a different path. What I call it is just climbing a mountain, just different path to going there. And I will go into little detail which aspects of it. So every path has got its terms and conditions. And the terms and condition is the path of sannyas is you have to renounce the world. You should not fall into the trap of Maya, and by not getting into that, then you devote full time into your sadhana and you get enlightened. That's fine about that. But the reverse is not true. That without that it is not possible to get enlightened. That is completely wrong. That understanding is needed. That's why I have explaining this. Even the path of this, the path of, we have the 4 types of yoga, like 4 types of union towards the enlightenment. First, it starts with karma yoga. Then Kriya Yoga. Somebody will come and teach you some practice. That is called Kriya Yoga. Then Dhyan Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and then finally Bhakti Yoga. It starts with Karma Yoga. You're doing your own duties. Now, in the sannyas path, they shortcut that. Okay? So there is no Karma Yoga. So they just bypass that and they try to go there directly into the higher state. That's fine. That's okay. But it does, because our path, the householder path, approaches more step by step, more clearing the foundation, not avoiding any kind of temptations of life. Our path is more challenging. And because of that, the chance of getting enlightenment is faster. Like there's two sailors of ship. Some sailor has never seen a big tide in his whole voyage. And another sailor is facing high tide, low tide, high waves, storms, high wind every other day. Who you think will be most skillful sailor? The second sailor, we can negotiate the big voyage much faster because he's prepared. Any type of situation, he can face it and still sail, going straight to the voyage. And they make a better sailor and they reach their destination early. And the other sailor, they have to anchor and wait till the storm passes and then they will start again. So those are the fundamental difference between that. So our path, householder spirituality, is no way inferior to any other path. In fact, it is more challenging. That's why it is more skillful and success rate. You need the grinding and polishing of life. So you get a purification much faster. Why I'm saying the purification? Because sannyas means purification of everything. That is the meaning of sannyas. Sannyas in Sanskrit, if you break it down, sam means together or all. That's what it means. Ni means down. And as means to throw or to put. So, one way it means to throw it all. But if you put together both things, then to throw also means purify, like throw the garbage, throw the contamination, get rid of negativity. This is what it means. Some means together or all, means purification of everything. That's what it means. Sannyas. So to throw off everything, it is the throw off the responsibility, the throw off their need for formal education, to earn money, to do the job, and everything is thrown out. So they are free from all this. And they devote their time into this path. So that is a path of purification by absenteeism, by rejecting it. Our path is purification by accepting it and evolve beyond that. Our path is, our means householder spirituality's path is like a lotus. It born in the mud, but it raise above the mud and make yourself so pure, even water cannot stay there. You know that? In the lotus, if you put a drop of water, it will not stay. The water also drops off from its body. And this particular message has been given by the many, many masters. Ramakrishna Paramhansa. He himself, there was, he married family person. And he was telling in the sansar, in this society, live like a fish who lives in the mud. We call pakal mach. I don't know what it's called in the English. So live in the mud, but don't allow any mud to touch you. And there is a better chance of that to be. If you come from a mud and then grow where nothing can touch you, that is the best form of test and purification you may have. Rather than you born with a silver spoon and lead a life of this, purified state, no exam or nothing. How you know that the strength of your power? If you don't face anything of any situations in life, you have no struggle, you need not to bother about the children fall sick and you are met with an accident carrying him to a nursing home or something. How they know that those kinds of pains and how it takes? Okay. So this is a different path. So don't get carried away with this sannyasi mentality or sannyasi. Don't even encourage that. It is not our path. By the way, let me be very clear. I'm not saying all sannyasis are bad. I'm not saying that. Okay. There are many, ascended, elevated masters. They just take part to teach people. There's nothing else left. No karma left, nothing there. They got enlightened earlier lives. They just come here to help humanity, give their teaching, and then that's it. That is their life mission. They don't need a family. They don't need to understand the grinding and polishing what I'm talking about. Okay. So don't get misunderstand that I'm talking all sannyasis are like that. I'm not saying that. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, there are many sannyasis. I was telling my Guruji, Prem Nirmalji has done some study. A very high percent they become sannyasi because they are rejected by the society. That's why they were there. We have done the study. The root cause why they have become sannyasi. There are plenty. They are in some kind of ashram or something. They got a free food and stay. So no luxury, but at least they have the shelter and food. No? So that's what they need. Somebody might have been, there is a police case, police is behind them, they run away and gone to those places. Somebody, they're rejected by their girlfriend, married to somebody else, they run away and become sannyasi. But there are many such cases. So what do you think the chance of they are getting enlightened? Okay. But anyway, so what I'm basically saying is many people has used this path of sannyas as an escape route. An escapist cannot be liberated. Understand that. Spiritual path is path of liberation, path of going through the grinding and elevate yourself beyond that, not avoiding it. Forget about running away from it. If you run away from your responsibility, you will bind karma. And the karma yoga you need to pass through. That is also a part of the process for your spiritual, evolution or your own growth. It is needed. You cannot do that by just bypassing it. So that is not there. So that is the right kind of understanding. So one is path of the sannyas. So that is for the people who has chosen to renounce the materialistic life, the family responsibilities, responsibility to earning money and all those kind of things. They devote their time for their own spiritual development. That is the path of sannyas. Householder spirituality is, first thing is karma yoga. We have to do our own duties as a householder, earn our own earning to survive, to grow, fulfill our wishes, whatever we like to have, enjoy life, maintain and take care of the family, take care of your whatever you work, what is your profession and all you earn and all these kind of things. Lead a decent, honest life, not to harm anyone. Then you get elevated. Then somebody will come and teach you some spiritual technique, that is kriya, and then followed by meditation. Whatever time you get, you need to spend, full day of doing only meditation. That is what you are doing, normal duty. That is also part of that meditation. if you do it honestly and with awareness. And then elevated, that chance of getting into that, to get enlightened, is much, much faster. It's contrary to the belief that only if you leave everything and go to a seclusion in the forest and all, only then you get enlightened. That's completely wrong. In fact, those paths who have chosen, that path is much, much longer. It is a much longer path and it takes years. That same research I was talking about that Guruji, Prem Nirmalji has done, they found that many are meditating in this kind of ashrams and forests and things like that for maybe 20, 30, 40 years, but they could not get enlightened. Because this is like repeating the same experience. They cannot evolve because there is no such thing called, a challenge or something they need to overcome and then grow. So that is also basically, means for even to have a cup of tea, they have to beg. There is no other way they can survive themselves. So these are the kind of stuff. I'm not talking about again that the elevated masters, they are beyond everything. They are beyond family, beyond, even all these lectures, they're much beyond that. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about in mass who chosen to be sannyasi, running away from their own responsibilities. They are also stuck there. So the chance of coming out of this stuckness is difficult. It needs a lot of push. And whereas in the householders, that challenges we face every day. Okay, whatever you need to learn, whatever is the detachment, whatever, the experiences teaches us all these things. I was earlier sharing that come to a point when you realize bahar kuch nahi rakha hai. Nothing in the outside world can fill you that void what you are urging from inside. They don't have a capacity to feel that. And that's why all the happiness in the external world is limited. One day you're too much happy, next day you will feel the hangover. Okay, so that is the thing. Then third day you have to go to doctor, and fourth day you have to say that these 5 things you cannot take. So after 1 week you will recover. So that is a kind of enjoyment. I call it as the illusion of happiness. So you put yourself into illusion of happiness. And then when that dream breaks, nobody writes about that in Facebook. After that, what happened? So that's why many things, people, they maybe one evening attend a great party and all those things. So they only put these things. But not afterwards, what happened? Anyway, so nothing wrong in enjoying, but it is not a full picture. It is a false sense of getting happiness. The true happiness comes. So then in the search of that, you get connected and then you learn about that. And this is that in this sansar, that whatever our family is the best thing. Okay. And you get, in a family life, you got your husband or wife, your spouse. Every day you get reminded about your blind spots. Yeah. What are the things you don't have? Okay. How bigger opportunity, how bigger guru you can get. That somebody reminding you about what area you need to progress about daily. All right. Anyway, jokes apart, what I'm saying is that our path is householder's path. This sannyas path, so just let me give you a little bit of idea from where it has come to start with. This sannyas, the path itself, from where it has come. This comes from a very old Indian tradition, ancient Indian tradition, in the 4 parts of a life. That is the Vedic way of living. First, it starts with brahmacharya. That is your student life, basically. you fully concentrate on your study and your, reading, gathering knowledge, and full disciplined life. So that is the first part of your life, brahmacharya. Then you start your own profession, your business, or earn money, get married, have children. So that is a family life, garhastya life. Then after a certain time, when you cross the mid-age, then you retire basically. You hand it over your whatever the jobs to others, next generation, or your children, or whomsoever. Then you seclude yourself. Then you buy a farmhouse and leave your husband, wife there. No, I'm just joking. So there's a banprastha that you hand over from that your responsibilities, and then you just go out of the normal, the hustle and bustle of the life, seclude yourself, and leave so outside your all this family and earning money, and also you'll be taken care by your requirement will be very, very less. So that you start devoting yourself towards that the spirituality, and further we call it paramartha, that is which is beyond a normal, what you cannot buy, the higher reward. So that is the third stage. And the fourth stage, even people get secluded, they're ready for leaving the body, and then even the husband wife also, they don't live there, they went into forest somewhere, and they independently rest of the time they spend with only in unison with God, and that is sannyas. When you finally left everything and only your time is to just praise the Lord and devote every time chanting the name and things like that, and one morning or one evening the death will come and take your physical body. That's it. So now what happened was, some smart concept people, they wanted to develop from brahmacharya directly to sannyas. In between they skip, step jump. So from there the sannyas came. When they join as a brahmacharya, then become sannyasis. Okay, fine, that is that method. But actual method follow all the 4 processes, and every process, every phase has its own implications. And in that sense, the earlier original version was more scientific, more meaningful, because you need to pass through all those things. You cannot suppress the normal human tendencies and become detached one fine morning. It's not possible. You have to go through that and go beyond that, and then you, by choice, you live there. So that is the way forward. So from there it has come. But anyway, so now we are saying you need not to even go to the Banprastha and sannyas in the physical town. Living in the same life, in the garhastya, you can attain internally those 2 steps. And you can be there. You can do your own sadhana, you can be there. Now the vibration of earth has gone up. It has got helping everyone to grow much faster. Whatever earlier used to get by 12 years of meditation, it is possible to get now in this frequency within few months. It's all possible now. So the time, how much time you can allocate and all that doesn't matter. Only thing you need, that urge, inner urge. That's why in the morning I was explaining that people are saying I'm practicing for now it is so many years, but still not, why I'm not been there. The only missing ingredients is lagan mein agan hona chahiye. You have to desperate enough to be there. That if the desperation is missing, then you will not be able to, hit that. That desperation is only missing. Otherwise, whatever you need to know, you already know. How to raise the vibration, how to open the channel and all. This is nothing new. Or there is no special technique which is, the master is hiding from you that you are not told yet. The moment you listen to that, you get enlightened. It's nothing like that. Yeah? It is the same thing. Only thing is you have to pass that 45 minutes of no thought zone. So in this, and that any day it can happen. Otherwise, ingredient, nothing is missing. Maybe what is missing, maybe, I'm not sure, what exactly, it depends from person to person. But maybe missing the lagan mein agan. When we what kind of passion people give in the, in Krishna consciousness, all the disciples, they consider themselves as Radha. What is called that urge, or andar se pukar, to be united with Krishna. Krishna is a consciousness, basically, in the human character. So I'm not talking the man-woman relationship. Forget about that. It's all about how, how desperately you want that to merge with the consciousness. That is they symbolize as urge of Radha to get united with Krishna. If you have that urge, then it will be much faster. It will click through. You surrender completely, and that is the only urge you have, and it will happen. That is called lagan mein agan. Like whenever suppose in the board exams, when we appeared, he said, kuch bhi ho jaye, kuch karke, I need to pass through, otherwise I know, because I cannot be treated as a failure in life, that kind of thing. You need that kind of approach to pass through. Not to say it's difficult and that, but you realize if I don't pass this exam, then nobody will even bother. I become unpad for the rest of the life. I cannot take that level lifelong. Whatever you need to do, you have to grow, and you have to ambition in life. You have to get rid of that, whatever the negative impact you had in the earlier stage of the life. Doesn't matter what caused it, but you want it. I need to get through, pass through. I need to have a good score and get through this exam. Similar type of urge is needed here. If you're urging for that, it will happen. But that urge should be pure. It is not to show to anyone, because all our spiritual journeys are unique. It cannot be comparable to anyone. We are not higher than anyone, lower than anyone. We are not equal to anyone either. Why? Because our journeys are unique. We are walking our own path. This is designed by our own soul. Why the delay is happening? Because we are, we don't have enough fuel to push that, car too fast. That is the lagan mein agan. Or I give an example of a pan, you're cooking some curry, some vegetable curry. All vegetable is there, it's everything is a namak, haldi, everything is there, oil is there. But cooking taking too much time. Why? Not that ingredients are wrong or your preparation technique is wrong or the menu, whatever things, it is not correct. It's nothing like that. Only the pan is not heated enough. So you have to increase the flame to make this cooking to happen faster. And that is lagan mein agan. So that makes all the differences. And once you are there, so then it happens, it's a divine moment. As I told, enlightenment is not something you earn. It's a divine grace. It is a Guru Kripa that happens. But at least you be there so that you are worthy of receiving the divine grace. So that's what is needed there, and that is our path. That is householder spirituality. Not to say no to anything life can offer. Only one condition: you should not harm anyone. You should not cheat anyone. You be truthful. You should have character. Character means congruence in thoughts, words, and actions. Only that is the condition. You should not harm anyone, not cheat anyone, and you have the congruence. And with that, you approach life. Your life enjoyment will be much, much better. If I don't have the congruence, see, when somebody say ask something, I can, with the flow, I instantly answer because I have a congruence. I am connected. But suppose the thing that I am trying to, I have an agenda, I'm trying to give certain kind of answer and certain kind of thing I have told. So I need to think what I told earlier. I should not contradict myself, no? That is a problem with if you are cheating. Okay, what you used during previous cheating, you have to remember. But if you are living a life of the full connection and congruence, you need not to bother. All the time you are with the truth. You are sharing the truth of the moment. What to think of? Nothing. You are liberated. So anyway, so this is the thing when we live this holistic approach to life, our quality of life, our life changes. This family thing, people don't change. I'm talking our experience of life changes. Our expectation comes down, acceptance gone high. Your patience gone high. You got infinite patience. You come to a stage, how does it matter? If it happens this way, it can happen. The both are okay with me. I don't have any special preference. It has to be in this way, my way or highway. Only you come out from that attitude, your life, experience of life will change. Okay, that is the householder spirituality. We come here to learn. Let me just, householder spirituality, what is the teaching? I'm sharing my own experience. That reminded me a joke. Somebody was telling that, put some message. When I started my life, I thought life is a beauty, but later on I realized life is full of duty. Okay, so that is the joke they mentioned there. It is true, by the way. So, but your experience, the relationship experiences, when we approach life, I'm just sharing what we learn in householder spirituality. Realization rather, not learn, realization. When we approach our household or family life or professional life or on, we always start with the things, how much I will get. Means I will get and I'll get benefited from it, right? How much I can get from relationship, how much I get from my job, how much I get from this. This idea of getting, this is the thing you come here to learn. It is not about getting, it is how much we can give. The moment you realize that all these householder things is the test of how much you can give, not how much you get. It is set up to check how much you can give and what is the quality of that you can give. Once you have experientially understand that, you transcend that level. You know nothing in the relationship or the family life or householder thing can bound you anymore. Because you are not expecting anything from anyone. You are just giving. That's it. I give here. In an office, I wanted to hold a position, not to earn better, to do better for people. See, the approach changes. I use my power to help people. I use my time to awaken people. It's about giving. It is not about taking. That also reminds me another joke. Some people habitually they cannot give, because there's so much habit in taking. They don't even think of it. So don't tell me about to give something to anyone. One such people had drank too much and fallen in a ditch. And everybody fallen, it is just like maybe 6 foot deep. Many people coming here, give me your hand, let me pull you out. He said, no, I don't give anything to anyone. Okay. So I said, okay, but this is a different case. You've fallen, he was full drunk. So then one master is passing by. He says, what happened? He said, he is not giving his hand. He says, I cannot give anything to anyone in my life. It will never happen. So I said, okay, let me try. Okay. So his master came, I said, take my hand. Oh, take, huh? Okay. Then he and he pulls him out. So like that. So we are mentally programmed to get, to take. In householder spirituality, we come here that when it changes from taking to giving, then we transcend that level. We learn that lesson and go to a stage of enlightenment when we realized that taking can only happen from the up, not from the down. We'll receive it from somewhere else, not from here. We only give. I cannot give something I don't have, so definitely incoming flow will be there. Otherwise, what can I give? And when you connect to that, then we connect with the infinite flow, which is unlimited source. And you be the channel of that. So you keep giving, and then you live in a joy of giving. You don't need anything from anyone, not even a thank you. Okay. All right. So that completes our discussion session. So if you have any question, so I will answer that.
In the householder life, we an
Your
individual may
voice is
have
breaking.
desires like
Hariom,
the
your
children
voice is
to do
breaking.
well. A householder life,
Yeah.
is it clear, Guruji? We
Still
have
breaking.
desires like our children should do well or okay, Guruji.
Hello? Yeah. Your video is frozen now.
I'll close the video.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Householder life will have desires like normal of a grasti that your children should do well or you should have property. So having these desires, does it not become a hurdle in our path for spirituality?
It depends upon what type of desire you have. Okay. Like you wanted to do better, you wanted to have your children to secure and all this, that is fine. That is for everyone, you should have that. But the problem comes when you associate that with the results. The Mahafalashu Kadachana. But we then start associating with how much to be bent then to make it successful, and if we not reach the target, then I'm unsuccessful. That makes you unhappy. Okay. So you have to drop the second part of it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in asking, you want your children to get educated, they lead a decent life, they earn better living, nothing wrong in that. Try that and give them whatever best you can and live it there. If you cannot live it there, then it is more likely will fall into the trap and it will make you more worrisome and think and what is happening. And in worst case, you will be a poor me syndrome. Then why this is happening to me? So-and-so's children got so much better and not mine. And then you have to avoid that trap. You do your best and leave it to the divine. It will take care. Okay.
There is one more aspect which I just want to clarify. At times we say God is our father, and like a son, you ask him whatever you want.
Yeah.
And at times we say don't ask anything. God knows what to give you when to be followed.
Yeah. See, sometimes we don't know what is in our best interest. So it is better to leave that to God. He will get better or more appropriate things. Suppose you are asking for a Mercedes-Benz, so S-Class Mercedes-Benz, and tomorrow you get it. Day after tomorrow, you are overspeeding on the highway and 200 km/h met with an accident and your leg gets amputated. So God knows it. What will happen if we give you the Mercedes? Okay. So, but if you ask what is in my best interest, give me that. then maybe you can retain that, you can enjoy that gift. But if you define it and you don't have all the informations, what is going to happen tomorrow, right? And that's why we went wrong. That's why we suffer.
Okay.
So you can define, but at the same time, some consequence it may bring which you didn't ask for. It can come as a package. Is it clear,
Okay.
Hariom? Yeah. So it is actually
Clear,
a
clear, Guruji. Absolutely clear.
smart move to give me what is in my best interest, what I can keep, what I can enjoy, rather than XYZ things. It is not good for me, but it looks good, but ultimately it will be creating more harm for me. If I too much insist, maybe it will be given to me. It is like father, he doesn't give any. So suppose son is asking for papa, say 5 years old son asking for. I have seen in one movie one knife, big knife. Somebody is running in a forest with a big knife. Give me a big knife. Will you give big knife to a child? Definitely not.
You know what to do.
Okay. Yeah. So you need to. The
How
father
much the child
knows.
can handle.
Yes. So it will be given. So it is given as per universal law. It is given, not given what you desire. It given what you deserve. So if you raise your deserving capacity, same child, if he is 18 years old and asking for a Swiss knife to go for a camping trip, definitely will give him. Okay, so that's how it works. All right. Any other question?
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Yeah, one question I have.
Yes, Anup.
One question.
Anup, go ahead.
Okay. So the question is, how can we enjoy everything at maximum, but same time not get affected by that?
Mm.
For example, I experiment this one whenever if I'm fully enjoying something, for example, anything, and the moment if I have that witness mode, right, suddenly that interest is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So awareness, that interest is not there, right? That enjoyment is come down, but with that unawareness, complete enjoyment, and I mean only the enjoyment part. Enjoyment, I feel more in that unaware state. But whenever, for example, the moment you're in a witness mode, you don't feel like enjoying. So this is.
Yeah. So now let me explain why this happens. When you want something or something to enjoy, it comes from your ego mind. Okay. We call it a mental construct. It is an idea of enjoyment, what your mind has created. Yeah. In the witness mode, what happens is that whatever you are witnessing, that gets dissolved, that gets dropped. Then you get directly come into this your level of consciousness. Okay. In that domain is already connected to the infinite joy. You need not to import happiness from outside. You have an eternal joy. You just connect and get it. Only the outside, this paraphernalia need to be dropped. And that dropping, as you rightly said, can happen through witnessing. If you witness, the external mind construct will get dissolved. You get into the pure form and you connected to the infinite joy and love. And you be in that state. It is not a coming and going state. It is your original state that you get connected into. And the joy is coming from there. Okay.